Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Mental Health Matters podcast. As you guys see, we started last week on a nice, cool stretch talking about winner or loser. Um, which one are you? To kind of get a little foothold on how this is going to begin, kind of to get into the state of like speaking on the winner's mindset, speaking on the loser's mindset without bunching them together. I wanted to kind of get into both individually, and starting it off the way we did was just a good placeholder for us to kind of just gather back and dissect the two mindsets that we were discussing before, so everyone kind of understands where you are in a more deeper sense, to kind of be able to realize either you got to get into the winner's mindset, or you already are in it, or if you're deep into the loser's mindset, or you're barely there. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get, this episode is going to kind of educate you guys more on the winner's mindset. So I wanted to kind of break it down piece by piece for you guys to really dissect yourself, because this whole season is going to be focused on self-reflection. So today we're going to be speaking about the winner's mindset, right? And how to kind of see if you're in it, as well as what do you have to do to maintain it, right? So that's why in this episode we call this one Brick by Brick, Count Your Wins. We are going to be discussing basically the winner's mindset in my own version, from what I've been reading and what I've been reflecting, right? We are reading a book called The Power of Discipline. It's by Daniel Walter, shout out. Very good book. I've been reading it this year. I should have been done with it a long time ago, but due to lack of discipline in the moment, with when suffering and life came into my whole area, I kind of fell off of the book for a little bit. Coming back into it, trying to get my mindset right, I stumbled upon the book again, looked at it a few times. I was like, I need to finish this book, bro. I can't go talk about I'm gonna read and get better, and then I don't read jack, right? So I was like, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna finish it. And it's crazy how everything happens for a reason, because where I left off was perfect, because in coming back, the chapter that I've been reading and coming back into has kind of been helping me realize that I started with a winner's mentality and I ended up fumbling into a loser's mentality when a lot of trials and tribulations kind of hit all at once, and I got a little overwhelmed, right? Um a lot of people don't want to, a lot of people are easy to say, oh, I'm a winner's mentality, or I'm a winner in general, right? And it's very hard for people to say, I'm having a loser mentality, or I'm a loser, like in the sense of like my discipline levels, right? It's very hard to self-reflect, especially in transparency to people around you and peers and people that you may look up to, or vice versa. But it is a key sign of maturity and growth and wisdom to notice when you are falling short. So I feel like in my heart, the first step in going towards the winner's personality is acknowledging that you were not a winner at that moment. The first step is acknowledgement, is knowing, you know what, not for nothing, I'm better than this. Not for nothing, where I'm at right now is not where I'm supposed to be. It's where I let myself be, right? And is seeing that, this whole time that you were doing something you didn't realize you weren't doing with the right mindset, the right intentions, whatever kind of fits that description. But I looked at it like I had to realize that the decisions I was making, the mindset I was having, the way I viewed myself and everything like that wasn't where it was supposed to be. I was more in a loser mindset and more in a lack of confidence. You know what I'm saying, that really holds you back from becoming successful and having a winner's mentality. And I feel like that's step one. Step one is like the step one acknowledging you have a problem, right? But it's the truth. It really is the truth. You had to realize, damn, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not where I want to be, or I'm not where I should be, and then realizing, some things in life are out of my power, but where I choose to let my feet go and where I choose to plant my feet, that is still my decision, right? So knowing that the path that you're going down, the destination that you've arrived at, or the pit stop that you've stumbled upon, you walked there, you journeyed there through decisions, lack of decisions, wrong decisions, whatever it may be, and you put yourself there, right? So the first step is to realize, I can't be here anymore. I gotta do something to get out of this slump, to get out of this situation. And the first step is to look from within. You know what I'm saying? So the first step in that is just acknowledging out where you're supposed to be. And now I got to realize, okay, I got to get back to where I'm at. Then it's figuring out where you want to be, figuring out who you are. Like I said in last week's episode, cleaning that mirror. You got to clean that mirror, man. You got to clean it, man. You can't leave that mirror dirty or you're never going to get a full, like, honest view of you, your growth, you know what I'm saying? And any, blemishes that you may have, right? So you have to sit there and really see that, clean that mirror, see, okay, this is where I'm currently at. Figure out where you are on the map. Where am I on this map? And dot that, mark it. Now, where's my destination? And this is kind of where the brick by brick starts to fall into place, right? Because you want to dream big. Obviously, everyone's like, "Oh, dream big," and other people like, "Oh, be realistic, set small term goals." I feel like both kind of mesh together, right? You need to have a large end game goal. That's the big celebration of this is I made it. I did what I was supposed to do. The mission is complete. The job is done. You know what I'm saying? The journey is reaches and I hit the finish line. You need a finish line, right? But the thing is, people always focus on one more than the other. A lot of people focus more on the finish line, and you're too busy looking at that finish line, too much overcompensating yourself for it and not setting yourself up to be able to handle the pressure that comes with getting to that finish line, and you burn out. Or you have people that they only go focus on the small checkpoints, right? That they have to hit in order to get to the big goal, right? You need both. You need to get to the big goal, but you need the checkpoints to keep you in check, right? That's the whole purpose of a checkpoint. It is a point of checking where you're at on your journey. I have reached this checkpoint. I am this much closer to my journey, right? But the thing is, a lot of people focus on one or the other. And the people that focus on the checkpoint is, I feel like complacency comes out of it, right? So if you're focusing only on your checkpoints, you're not really remembering the end game. You're just like, well, I hit a checkpoint, I'm doing good. You become complacent, you become stagnant, and by the time you reach the end goal, that may not be the goal that you desired anymore by the time you got cool with all the other spots. Or you might not even end up at your end goal because you got so complacent that you fell back or you fell off, right? A lot of us have been through that. I could tell you sometimes in my content zones I've been in that. I focus on checkpoints sometimes and I lack the vision that I should have had for my end goal. Or I'll have an end goal that seems perfect and amazing, but sometimes you got to realize the obstacles and the speed bumps and the twists and the turns that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I feel like when you can figure out a good solid balance in between end game and checkpoints, I feel like that's the next step towards you having a winning mindset, right? And now the one that I'm currently thinking about and the one that I'm currently working on that I've actually seen a positive energy coming from it, positive, reinforcement, positive reaction, all these things has been the brick by brick method, where you got to realize you don't just get a house and you just find a wall and you slap it up there, right? You had to form your foundation. And that's what we kind of did last week was forming our foundation, right? You form your foundation, you figure out exactly where you want to be, you start your footholding, right? But now you got to build your home, right? And you got to build it brick by brick. What does that mean? You got to start from the bottom. You have to start somewhere. And your bricks are all of your checkpoints. Your bricks are all the checkpoints. And the reason I say brick by brick is because if you're staying on that journey, you're staying on the path you're supposed to be, right? You're going back towards having a winning mindset. The discipline within yourself realizes in this journey, every checkpoint is growth. Every brick is growth, is strength. And every brick together holds a more firm wall and a firm grounding to where you got to go, right? So every little brick, it could be small things. It could be times of growth that you've noticed and realized. It could be times of acknowledgement that you've gotten from people that matter to you. It could be, what I'm saying, it could be a stumble that you've went that you learned from and you were like, damn, not for nothing, that was essential to my growth. That's a victory within itself. People always think that, oh, just because you fail, it's a failure, there's no victory in it. Victory can always come from failures. Victory can always come from shortcomings, right? It's the way you view things. It's the way you view things. And if you walk away stronger than you were out of that loss or out of that, sense of stumbling, you're walking away stronger and more victorious, and you have a higher chance of not making that mistake again, not tripping up again in that sense, right? So setting your bricks up could be a bunch of different things. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, when you are focusing on the bricks to get you to the end goal, you'll know, okay, every brick that I'm playing, every brick that I'm laying down, everything that I'm doing right here is getting me towards my end goal, right? So I really want you guys to do something with me this week that I'm going to do after this recording with you guys, and I'll show it in my Discord, and we'll discuss it a little bit later on. Um, is you guys need to get a notebook. I I I I want to encourage you to get a notebook, right? And you need to write down on your notebook, what is your end goal? Where are you in this journey? And then every day you need to find a brick. Every day, find a brick to get you closer and closer and closer to your goal. And you write that brick down, write the date, write the brick, and then write down just a simple sentence summary of what happened, so that once you get to your end goal, or if you feel discouraged, or if you feel like you're not going to make it, you need to go back to this notebook and realize all the bricks that you've laid on your path. You got to write down everything. Everything. It could be a moment of just you did something good. Hey man, you did something good today. And talk to yourself in that. Write it. It's like a diary. Oh, men can't have diaries. Bullshit. You can have a diary. It's your feelings. It's your life. It's your journey. Why? It's a diary is a tool. It is a memory you've set that you won't forget because it's been written down. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a diary. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to say you got a diary because okay, then get a book, dog, and write down your thoughts. A brick. Write that down every single day. And that will be a brick by brick method. Is okay, I accomplished, like, yo, today you did this. Like, I have back issues, right? Hey, today, even though your back was hurting, you still got up early and you did what you were supposed to do. You knocked out this. Let's say you were gonna put off the laundry because your back was hurting. You know that it hurts to like do this and the third, but you did it. Good job. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you were supposed to go and take care of this, or you were supposed to do this job, or hey man, uh, you weren't feeling good, but you were still able to get up and go live. Or hey man, you were tired tonight, but you still recorded your podcast. Hey man, whatever it may be, I'd be like, all right, cool. So then if I'm going like, man, I feel like I ain't doing shit, or I feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, like what's going on? You can look and be like, yo, you know what? Let me stop tripping. Let me get my reassurance book. Call it a reassurance book. Open that joint, and you will see every brick that you've laid to realize, you know what, I have done stuff, I've done a lot, and I've grown. I'm not the same person I was when this first brick was laid. You can start to see the foundation, you can start to see the structure, you can start to see the formation forming because the bricks are being laid down. You can start realizing if that's a wall, that's an interior wall or an exterior wall. You can realize if that's whatever the hell you want it to be, you're gonna start seeing it because you are turning the blueprint into a reality, right? Your blueprint just draws out the little skeleton, but now you're laying down the brick by brick to give it life, to give it purpose, to give it power. And that's what you have to do for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And the more you lay down your bricks and the more you acknowledge them and the more you write them down and you put them into your mental about, hey, I got to get this going, I got to get that going, that's when you're going to start realizing that, okay, I can do this. I'm capable. These are my checkpoints that are reassurance that are keeping me grounded and keeping me in motion. You know what I'm saying? And then that kind of goes into the next piece that I have to put in with you guys is repetition. Repetition is key to mastering your success, right? You keep doing these things, right? You keep succeeding, being grateful for the small things. Your break doesn't have to be something you did. Your break could just be the fact of, hey, maybe one of the things holding you back was you weren't as appreciative of the blessings others give you. You weren't as appreciative and acknowledging of the kind words of support and encouragement your peers or your family have been showing you. So you could be like, not for nothing, man. My wife told me she's proud of me for this today, and I said thank you instead of turning it down. That's a brick. Acknowledging that someone sees your success, acknowledging someone sees your growth and change, and being like, thank you, versus, nah, this ain't shit. Yeah, wait, I'll, I'll celebrate later when I made it. No, no. Now, I'm not saying, okay, you do one small thing and you're like, yeah, let's go have a party. Nah. Sometimes celebrations are silent. Sometimes the celebrations is just a smile. Sometimes celebration is you go into the mirror, looking at yourself and be like, good job. Sometimes celebration might be in a tear of realizing, holy shit, I did it. It doesn't have to be a loud, boisterous thing. Celebrations could be external, can be internal. But at the end of the day, you celebrate your small victories every single time. Acknowledge that you have accomplished something good. It'll put you in a more confident state of mind. It'll put you in a more successful mindset. You'll be looking for the next level of success, right? As long as you're doing it in a way that's not bigging you up to the point that you have become egotistical. You're celebrating success. You're telling yourself you're doing great. And you're reminding yourself that you're on a mission. The mission's not over. This is a checkpoint, but this is a checkpoint worth noting, right? You do that, then you tie that in with repetition. What do you mean by repetition? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory at this point when it comes to repetition. Do it again. Do it again. You woke up on time? Do it again. You know what I'm saying? Your wife needed help today and you did that for her? Do it again. You had free time today, instead of you sitting down, not doing nothing, not being productive. Maybe you know what I'm saying, made lunch for your wife or your kids or whatever the hell it may be, or you got ahead on something, or you read something. You know what I'm saying? You did something productive. Do it again. You like how it feels. The only reason why you stop is because your body is still trying to get out of the habit of the loser mentality. Everything's a habit. We're creatures of habit. Why can't we gear ourselves towards being creatures of successful habit? The moment you start drowning into the loser mentality, you start going into like this dark habit of just like, you don't take care of yourself the way you're supposed to. You don't treat people the way you're supposed to. You don't treat yourself the way you're supposed to. You look at things differently. Everything is just ominous. The energy is just blah. But that's because you let it be like that repetitively. You repeatedly just let that shit happen, right? You're going to have to realize in that repetition, you've built a habit. The only way to break that habit is to form a new habit to counteract that habit. You have to get rid of it. So you're like, yo, how am I going to exercise this habit? You have to do the opposite. Do the positive to get it out of the way. Because in that way, your body and your mind, you're making a choice. I'm choosing to go this way instead of this way. Every single time I go left, this happens. Well, I'm going right this time. Oh shit, I went right and it worked. You get to that crossroads. Okay, this time I went right and it didn't work out. I'm going left then. Oh, you got to consciously make that decision. And sometimes the conscious decision you have to make repeatedly until you just realize this is the right thing I'm supposed to do for me and the ones I care about. And then form that habit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to lay down the bricks. You have to be able to acknowledge and see all these things that's going on in your life to be able to keep pushing you to go towards the next one. And you have to understand that even though you may be laying a brick of success, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall. You're not perfect. Shit's gonna happen. There's gonna be a day where you don't think you have a brick. You need to find a brick. If you woke up and you were breathing and you made 10 mistakes, okay, make something right. That's what I tell my son. For every time you make a mistake in life, you need to do like try to do 2 to 3 things to make it right. If I didn't do the chores or something like that, I'm gonna make sure I do this. I'm gonna make sure I do that. Try to counteract it. Even if you can't counteract, if you made 10 mistakes, but you did 5 things right, you still did something. You tried to make an honest effort in doing the right thing despite the mistakes that you've made. That's a brick. You acknowledge that you didn't have a good day, but you want to stay in a positive mindset. That's a brick. You realize I stumbled and I fell today, but I talked to my wife, I talked to my husband, or I talked to my best friend, I talked to my parents, I talked to my kids. I was like, man, today wasn't a sense of self-awareness is a brick. Being like, look, my actions may not have been the best, but I had to be transparent with the people I cared about. And I wanted to talk to them about it. I realized, man, today wasn't a good day. And maybe they can give me a piece of advice I can learn from. Wisdom is a brick. There's no reason why you can't find a good brick to put in your life to hit that brick by brick mentality. Write that shit down. And you could write down, it was a struggle, but I found my brick today. You see what I'm saying? And you got repetition, right? Repetition is key to that, because if you look into the construction mindset of the brick by brick mentality, what is it? It's repetition. You're putting down a brick, you're putting down a brick, you're putting down a brick, you're putting down a brick. You get to the end of the line, you got to start the new row. What's on top of that? Another brick with another brick with another brick with another brick. It's repetition, right? And then you notice that the people that are bricklayers, the more that they do it, the more efficient they become, the faster it is, the more structured it is. Somehow they figured out a way to make it even stronger. That's you. You keep laying on this brick by brick mentality for yourself and going, oh, not for nothing, dog. Like, okay, I did this, but man, how can I make this more efficient? Okay. Make this more efficient to get myself a little bit of a better timeline. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I did that in half the time. Cool. That's a brick efficiency. Efficiency and time management. You know what I'm saying? The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. It could be something as stupid as a game. Y'all know we do a lot of games in the community, right? The more you play it, the better you're just naturally going to get at it. The more aware you're going to understand how everything is going. You're going to understand the flow of what it is. You understand all the mechanics, and all of a sudden you're better at it, right? That's the same thing when it comes to your mental health. I mean, you go to workouts. You got to look at it like this, man. You have to look at your mental health like a muscle. When you go to the gym, you don't go to the gym and you're just like, oh, I want to be strong, and you walk out and you're strong. You have to go in there every single day and you have to put in work, and you have to repeatedly put those muscles to the test. You have to repeatedly wear yourself out, right? And then what do? You go home, you eat healthy, you know what I'm saying? You get good rest, you get good hydration. And then what do? You go back the next day, you do that shit again. That's the same way you're supposed to treat your mental health. You same exact way you treat your mental health. You have to come at it every single day. And just like if you don't go to the gym, you get out of shape. If you don't take care of your mental health and you don't strengthen it every day, your mental health is going to get out of shape and it's going to get weakened. But the more that you set down that foundation with the brick by brick mentality and the repetition in it, those two go hand in hand to make it more structurally sound, makes it harder for you to get out of shape. You can have those days where you fell off a little bit and then you'd be like, damn, I fell off, but not for nothing. I still feel good. We all have our days, right? That's just reality of life. Same thing, you go into the gym. You have that one day you didn't get to go to the gym. Dang it, I didn't get to go to the gym. It's all right. I'm going to hit it harder the next day. That's all you got to do. Once you get out of, you use the brick by brick method for the reassurance policy, and then you use the repetition for the efficiency, you're going to get stronger and you're going to pull yourself out of the mud, get out of that loser mentality. And that is how you eventually walk up and you wake up and you're in the winner mentality, right? So that just in case something happens, you don't just fall right back into the loser's mentality. It's easy, bro. Yeah, we all know this. We all know this, how easy it is to fall back into the hole that you put yourself in. It's so easy. But at the end of the day, you got to get up. At the end of the day, you're going to fall, but you got to get up. It's not always how you fall, it's how you get back up. And that's kind of what this is going. That's kind of like this whole entire episode is just about making sure that you get right and you celebrate all of those victories. Sometimes the victories that you celebrate too may not be your own. Sometimes people are having an issue where one of the things holding them back is they're selfish. How many of you guys have those moments where you putting yourself before everybody? You have to have a good balance of selfishness and selflessness. You have to be selfish to an extent of knowing that you matter, and you have to take care of yourself. But there's also times where you could do that too much to the point of you forsake those that you care about and those that care about you, and you don't realize that you kind of putting them in a bad situation. Now, granted, it's still their life, their decisions, but yeah, it's still your life and your decisions too on how you treat them. So sometimes your brick might not even be anything about you. Your brick might be like, not for nothing, man. I sat down with my wife. I took her to lunch. I didn't talk about myself. Or or it could be, I went out with my husband and he was talking to me about his day and I didn't watch TV and ignore him. Or, hey, you know what? My kids came home from school today and instead of me just airing out whatever they said, I listened to them and asked them how their day was. Or I sat down with my kids and did their homework with them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Or like, hey, man, I wanted to play the game today, but I know my wife had a long day, so I turned the game off and I went and laid with my wife. It's simple things like that. Those are things you're not even doing for yourself. You're doing for others because you're being compassionate, you're being selfless, and you're being helpful to others. That also can help you with your mental health. Sometimes doing the right thing for somebody else and realizing how your actions have made somebody else feel and seeing that smile on their face reassures that, damn, I'm doing the right thing. Holding the door open for somebody, bro. I held the door open for that one person. Usually I see him, I'm like, oh, F that. It's like 12 of them. I'm not. And then you just walk in. No, I held the door open, let everybody walk in. And I got 12 thank yous. That actually felt good. I went inside and enjoyed my food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it could be simple things that we overlook. But the good thing about this is if you write down all your bricks and you repeatedly do this, you're going to start looking for the beauty in everything, even the silly things. And then that's when you can start getting right and being like, you know what, not for nothing. Today was a good day. You know, enough for nothing, things may have happened, but today was a good day. Or you could be like, yo, today actually was very stressful. This happened, that happened. Those were really bad things. But at the end of the day, I'm still blessed and I'm still grateful. That's hard. You guys think that people just wake up with that mentality of being like, man, dude, I can't believe you lost your dog today, man. That must be rough. Like, yeah, it is, but we're still blessed. That is hard. And that is something you have to actively try to be in. That is a mentality that that person put in work to get to that point, to lose something and still find the beauty in the day. That's hard. And the only reason why you're saying that is because the loser's mentality that we all have. We all have both. Y'all think that it's like, oh man, if I get into the winner's mentality, like I don't have a loser mentality no more. Nah, bruh. You still got it. You're just choosing to put it in the back burner. You see what I'm saying? So like at those moments when that shit happens, you'd be like, yo, man, that's rough. That's the loser's mentality talking. And you having to say, you know, enough for nothing. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to entertain that energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not always the energy that goes outwards. Sometimes it's the energy that's inwards that comes out versus the energy that goes outward that comes in. But the more you focus on yourself and you focus on your core balance, the more you'll be able to understand the balance of understanding is the energy disruption coming from within or is it coming from outward? Right? Once you can start realizing that, that's when you can start working on some other things that we'll talk about later. But I feel like all in all, man, focusing on those two things together, man, just the brick by brick method and blend that with the repetition, right? Those two things alone, I feel like is a very good combo that you need to get right. And then celebrating your wins. Those are the big ones, man. It's not always about making a big leap. It's small, brick by brick steps, repetition, and then celebrating your wins. You lay down those bricks every single time every day that you have something good, you don't have to celebrate it. It doesn't always have to be a big grand scheme, but at the end of the day, acknowledging it is a mini celebration of its own. And at the end of the week, being like, I had a good week, treat yourself to something small. It doesn't have to cost anything. It could just be extra time here, extra time there. You know what I'm saying? But you have to celebrate when you are doing good and you're reaching levels of checkpoints in your life, right? You have to celebrate those checkpoints. You know what I'm saying? That's why if you guys look at some of these races, right? These like triathlons, all those the different marathons that people do, at the checkpoints you see family. Why do you think you see that? Because they need that pick me up. Because that person is running, that person is exhausted, that person is spent. But then when you get into the checkpoints, you see family like, you can do it, giving them water or whatever. They grab their water and they keep going. Do you not understand how powerful that is? Sometimes you have to be there for yourself. And the way you do that for yourself is by celebrating your wins. The small wins, the medium wins, the large wins. They're all still victories. But all the victories that you have in life, if you keep throwing them away, you're never going to be grateful for nothing, and you're throwing away a successful, positive moment that you should be absorbing. Because if not, that's because you're going back slowly into a losing mindset. Don't throw that away. That's like going to the checkpoint in the middle of a race, knowing you're thirsty as hell, you're tired as hell, and they're like, "Hey, I got you fresh water." You just grab and throw it. You're not gonna make it to the next checkpoint because you threw away your water, your lifeline. You have no idea if the checkpoint that you have is a lifeline that's going to keep you going to the next one. You aren't 100% positive, especially in the beginning of your journey. You haven't built that endurance yet. You don't know if you skip out on this checkpoint and you don't take the resources that come with it, that you're going to make it to the next checkpoint without falling on your face and giving up. In the beginning, the checkpoints are such a huge thing, and that's why you have to start small. Because the smaller you start, the stronger you become, so you can handle the larger stretches, because you never know if the checkpoints get a little bit longer. So you take the checkpoints that you have, you take the small wins that you get, you know what I'm saying? You treat yourself to something at the end of the week, man. You know what? I'm gonna do this, and then at the end of the month, okay, man, every week I had a small little thing at the end of the month. Yo, I'm gonna treat myself. Yo, I had a good month, bro. I had a good month. Boom, let me do something for myself. It doesn't have to be something that's gonna break the bank, man. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be something as simple as you getting a drink. It could be something as simple as anything, dude. Anything. You treating yourself to a nicer lunch than the normal. You don't have to go to Fogo de Chao and shit. You could go to some spot that's just a little bit nice. You actually get sit down. You can sit down and have a waiter come to you versus you going to the drive-through. Yo, do you know what? This Saturday, I'm gonna go sit down at this spot that I like. It's a nice joint. It's not too much. I'm gonna treat myself because you know what? Not for nothing. These last 2 weeks, I've been doing my thing. Do it. Do it. Take care of yourself. That's how you find that motivation within yourself. That's how you find that passion to keep going, because those are just awesome things. Who doesn't like to be celebrated? Who doesn't like to be rewarded, whether it be from people you care about, random people you've never met, or even by yourself? You have to do that because that's how you take care of yourself. That is the power of self-discipline. And part of it is acknowledging when you've done something good and giving yourself that pat on the back, man. It's the greatest feeling in the world. So realizing in the beginning of your journey, you may need these checkpoints. They might be vital lifeline resources for your journey. Take them, enjoy them, relish them, and then be prepared for the next checkpoint. Get to the next checkpoint. Your end goal is to be your motivation factor to make sure you hit every checkpoint strong and efficient. There's going to be times where you slip up. There's going to be times where you get a little lazy. There's going to be times where you fall short. But hit those checkpoints, because those checkpoints are also like save points. If you make a mistake at this checkpoint, you don't got to go all the way to the back of the starting point. Sometimes you might have to take a step back to the previous checkpoint. But if you didn't go to every checkpoint and save it, it's like saving a game. Anything like that. Saving your progress. Checkpoints are saving your progress. Games, you writing down a book and you didn't save the last writing you did for 8 hours and it's gone. Or a video game you playing, or a whatever the fuck it may be, a show you're watching, you ended it and you just backed down, didn't like pause it, so now you don't remember where you left off, and now you got to go and backtrack all this stuff. No, you got a checkpoint. You know where you at. You got your roadmap right here. I got my checkpoints right here. I know what brick I'm on because I'm on the 4th row of bricks in the middle. I know I've been doing this enough times. I know there's 48 bricks on this wall going straight. So if I'm in the middle, I'm about 12, 24, 36, 48. Boom. So I know I'm right there in the middle on the 24 line. I know I'm roughly around 24-ish bricks in. I can just keep going. How many bricks we need? Probably about 24, maybe give or take 1 or 2. How do you know that? Well, I've been doing this shit. I know this joint is 48 long, halfway through, boom, 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 12, 20. We do them in spurts of 12. We got 2 12s in. We usually don't end unless we hit a 12 checkpoint. We don't stop until we get a 12 down. So if we're right here in the middle and we're doing it in spurts of 12, I know we had 24. You know where you left off. You know where you got to start back if you need to take a step back. That's the whole purpose of checkpoints. Checkpoints are you're saving your progress. Imagine playing a video game and all of a sudden you're like, yo, I got to go to the store real quick. Shit. And you come back and you got to start over and you're like halfway through. You're like, oh, hell no. Why do that to yourself with your life? Go to your checkpoints, man. Checkpoints, save them, and celebrate that moment that you got to. Right? That's why even with me, some of you guys that watch right now, some of you guys that may be watching this, you guys I don't watch our Twitch streams. I go live on Twitch, right? Monday through Friday. I stream in the mornings with the community. I stream in the evenings, right? And we have goals. We have goals that we have for certain things. It's bits. It's a donation process, and basically, every time we reach a certain percentage of the goal, we celebrate as a community with certain things. Like, oh man, we'll do a extra weekend of streaming of games with the community, or hey, I'll do a cosplay joint, or hey, we'll do whatever, right? And we hit the 100% goal, then we're doing a giveaway as a thank you to give back to whatever, right? We do these for multiple reasons. It's a business incentive, obviously, but it's not just about the business. It's a fun way to realize, hey, look at how far we got together. Hey, man, look what you guys did, man. You guys have been so generous together. You got me a quarter to my goal already. You got halfway to my goal. You guys filled the goal. Holy shit, dude. Thank you. Let's celebrate, right? It makes you feel appreciated for your actions, for the effort that you've put in towards the end goal. It's the same process. Anything. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you remember when we hit 25%, we did this and then Tetsu did that and then blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of it. Memories, reminders, motivation for you to want to come back and do it again. Good checkpoints and good celebrations, in my mind, a good checkpoint and a good celebration of that checkpoint is going to be more incentive for you to want to repeat this process all over again. Everything ties into place. You're repetitive, and then you're doing you're laying down your foundation. It gives you strength, but it also, you celebrating it also brings a repetitive one of, I want to feel that again. I want to experience that again. Yo, this was amazing. I want this to happen again. Now you have an interest in your repetition for doing the whole thing again, just for that moment, just to be feeling good again about you accomplished something. It could be the daily things, it could be the weekly things, the monthly, you know what I'm saying, the quarterly, the annually. Like, there's so many different things that you can go into, like, play on. I like when this happened, I want to repeat it. Why do you think they have wedding anniversaries? Why do you think they have relationship anniversaries? Why do you think we have birthdays? Like, life is a series of end game with checkpoints. You have to treat your mental health like that too, because you would be pissed if your birthday just everyone was like, yeah, we'll catch the next one. Yeah, your wedding anniversary, if your wife or your husband, your spouse was just like, yeah, we'll just wait till 8 years. It's probably a little bit better than 7. This was a rough year. Let's just skip this one. Bruh. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with your mental health, bro. You were going through a rut. You're going through it. You're suffering right now. That's okay. Something good happened today. You were just so distracted. You didn't see it. Look for it. Find it. Put it in that book. You got family? Do it with your family. Get little notebooks for everybody. Go to the dollar store, get a few of them joints. Or if you don't have one right now, you know what? Get one notebook and give everybody a page. That'll last for a little while. All right, then boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you can do it. Doing it with other people is fun too. But you need to do it for yourself. Because there's going to be a time where people aren't going to be around and you have to rely on yourself. Like I tell my son with his medicine, you have to take this medicine. He has ADHD and stuff. This medicine is just going to help you be able to focus, right? But at the end of the day, you still have to try, because there's going to be a time in a day where you can't take this medicine. It won't be available. You may run out. We may be out and don't have it. It might have gotten messed up. Are you just going to be asked out? You're going to be screwed over? Like, oh, I don't have my medicine. I don't know what to do. No. Okay, I don't have my medicine, so today's just going to be tougher. That's it. Today's gonna be tougher because of this. But you still have to put in that effort. It's the same thing like an accountability partner. Oh my gosh, they're so helpful, especially if they're in a very similar mind state and a similar path as you. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep each other going. But at the end of the day, you got to do it for yourself, because there's going to be a day where that accountability partner or your family or whoever it may be isn't going to be right there by your side whenever you fall. They're still there. They still care about you. But what if they're just busy at that moment and they didn't see that you fell today? What if they're going through their own things and they're trying to get themselves right? Or what if you're so focused on your stuff, you don't realize they were there this whole time? You were just so distracted. At the end of the day, you have to go every day knowing that you got yourself, just in case nobody does. Because then, if you are finding strength within yourself and you're anchored, how much easier is it going to be for them to lift you up when you already starting the process? It's so much easier at the end of that set to lift that weight when that spotter's helping you, because they realize you maxed out. But before that, accountability partners are just spotters, dog. You gotta put in that weight. You gotta face that weight. You gotta put that pressure in. You gotta wear your muscles out, so that when you're at that time and you're like, okay, good, I can rest up. That spotter got you to put it back up, and then you're done. Same, mental health is the same thing, bro. It's just the way you guys view things. We're so close-minded to so many things, and how a lot of things correlate to each other, and how a lot of things kind of like relate. But dog, I'm telling you, bro, everything, you could look at anything and learn something from it. Nature, looking outside. I look at my kids and watch the way my daughter's growing and see the way that she's doing stuff, and I'm like, huh, that's crazy. Look at her figuring out how to do that. Sometimes she's doing, no, let her do it. Let her do it. Mommy's like, no, let me help you. No, let her do it. I'm a dick at that moment because I want to help my baby. We know you can help your baby, but watch at how proud you are of seeing her do it herself. You gotta look at yourself like your baby. If you keep letting everybody else come to your rescue, or if you keep stepping into too much, how are you gonna see the growth? You gotta let yourself learn. You gotta let yourself grow. You gotta let yourself live. You gotta let yourself make mistakes, and then learn that those mistakes aren't really just mistakes, they're lessons. Once you can do that over and over and over again, you'll realize how many walls you've built up in your life to help you get to where you gotta go. I'm telling you guys, this is fire. I really, repeating it multiple times. Yeah, see repetition. I encourage you guys to get a notebook. And if you guys have anything, man, if you guys are watching this on Spotify, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, where you're watching this right now, you can put it in the comments. I have comments open up on my Spotify and YouTube. What's your end goal? Where do you want to be? What's your big goal? And what is the checkpoint that you've hit today? Open your eyes and what's your checkpoint today? Me? My checkpoint? I did everything I was supposed to do today. Everything wasn't in the timing I was supposed to do it, but I did everything I was supposed to do today. I was tired, no sleep, exhausted, worn out, weather's kicking my butt. But I still got up this morning, I did my stream with the community. We had a good time. I got off. We still ate we had dinner with the family, had a good time. I watched the show that I wanted to watch with my wife because I could have watched it yesterday when she went to bed, but I waited for her. That was another brick from yesterday. Oh my gosh, I wanted to watch House of the Dragon so bad, but it was late because we were watching Harry Potter with the kids. They loved it. Wifey wanted to watch it, but she was tired. She had to wake up early. So I was like, you know what? I could watch. She told me to watch it. Go ahead, watch it. I'll catch up. Nah, baby. We do this together. This is our show. We watch this together. So what I did, I didn't watch it. I went to bed and laid down with my wife. And then today, after my stream, we had leftovers because I was prepared, and we watched the show together, and we enjoyed it. Then I came downstairs, did what I had to do, came up and did my podcast. 2 bricks, easy peasy. Did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Was the day still hard? Yeah, it was some tough points. But we here. What's your bricks that you've laid down? And where are you trying to go? What's your destination? Maybe in a few episodes, we'll talk about a checkpoint. We'll come back to this. Hey, man, how have your bricks been laying? Have you hit a checkpoint yet? If you have, share it with us. And if you guys are already in a winner's mentality and you guys have some other opinions, thoughts, share them in the comments with us, man. We would love to hear it. But with all that, The Power of Discipline is still the book, just in case you guys missed it last week. If you guys want to catch us, man, we record this live every single Monday on Twitch at 8 to 8:30ish. I start between 8 to 8:30, depending on when I can get on. But we record it live if you guys want to catch us. And at the end of it, for my people that come and watch it live, I get to do a little interaction time with them and talk with them and stuff like that. But yeah, man, we appreciate you guys. Everybody that's watching, no matter where you're watching it from, I appreciate it. If you guys are watching us, let us know where you come from. Where are you watching from? Let us know where you are in your journey, something that you appreciate about this, and maybe a topic that you would love to hear us talk about in the future. I read all my comments. I read them all on the weekend before I start my podcast to see what everybody's saying. And if anybody has anything, I got you guys. We'll discuss it in some form. At some point, we'll discuss it. So with that being said, it's your boy Tetsu. Appreciate you guys so much. Love you to death. And this is episode 2 of season 2 of the Mental Health Matters podcast. Brick by brick, count your wins. Thank you guys again.